Mr. Porter for the invitation to be here with you this afternoon, and it's good to see my good friend Mr. Mixon from Black Lives Matter. We are working together in this campaign. I'm very excited to be here this afternoon because, as Mr. Porter said, many politicians are out there right now seeking endorsements from the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, or from different organizations. I am not out there looking for many endorsements. The main endorsement that I need is the endorsement of the people, of the residents, of the voters. Because as Mr. Porter said, it's all about you. It's all about the residents. And the only way that we are going to have positive changes take place in the city of Cleveland is if we all work together as one. So this campaign that we're running in Ward 14 is a strictly grassroots campaign. And it's about empowering the people. It's about letting the people know that you don't have to wait for someone in government to give you the power. You already have the power within you. You just have to realize it, recognize it, step up to the game, and do something about it. And I think that everybody here, we are all sick and tired of being sick and tired of seeing things stay the same throughout the city of Cleveland. And the only way that we're going to see changes happen is if we all step up to the plate and do something about it. So let me tell you a little bit about myself and what our campaign is about. First of all, I never saw myself in politics before because I'm actually a pastor. I've been a pastor for the last 20 years. I'm a man of faith. I've been a pastor for 20 years. I know it doesn't look like it. It looks like I'm only 25 years old, but I've actually been a pastor, or at least it makes me feel good to say that. But I've been a pastor for 20 years since 1997, June 1997. So June of this year, it's going to be 20 years that I've been a pastor. And I'm also the president of the Hispanic Pastors Association, so June of this year as well. So I've been the president of the largest and the longest reigning pastors association on the west side of Cleveland. We are one of the few people who decided to cross the bridge over to the east side because one of the biggest divisions in the city of Cleveland is that bridge that separates the east side and the west side. It seems like no one is willing to cross that bridge and unite the gap that separates us, because the only thing that separates us is a bridge. I think all of us, we're all facing the same issues. We all have the same fears. We all have the same struggles. And the only way that significant change is going to happen is if we are willing to cross that bridge, work together, east side and west side, because we have the same issues. We just need to come together as one, with one voice, and start demanding changes to take place. So I never saw myself in politics before. Actually, I never had a good image of politics. Whenever I thought about politics, it usually conveyed negative thoughts. Someone once told me, do you know what politics means? And I said, no, what is politics? They said, well, politics comes from two words. Pali, which means many, and tix, which means blood sacrilegious. So people told me politics is actually many blood sacrilegious. So I never really had a positive image of politics. But then as I started doing more research into politics, and you see how important politics is, it's a very important part of our society. And the only way that we're going to create positive changes in politics is if you have the right people in politics who have the right heart for the people. So what makes me a little bit different, I don't like really talking and bragging about myself, but what I bring to the table is, as a pastor, I have learned to be a servant. And I believe that there's a major difference between a public official and a public servant. We have a lot of public officials, but we have very few public servants who have forgotten that the reason why they were elected in the first place was to serve the needs of their constituents, was to serve the needs of the people who put them in power. So I come at this with a servant's heart, ready to serve my people. And our platform is based on the letter P. So it's all about, so our first P is people before politics. That's the philosophy that we have. People should always come before politics. I am not here to push any political agenda. My job throughout this whole campaign as a councilman is not to push political agendas. It is to push the will of the people. So people should always come before politics. Our second piece, protection and safety, because I think that we can all come to a consensus that one of the major issues, one of the greatest fears that you see throughout everywhere I go and I speak to people, one of the greatest fears is the fear of safety, the fear of something happening to them. You never know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. Crime is running rampant. People want to feel safer, so protection is at the top of our list. The third P is prosperity for all, not some. Prosperity for all, not some. Everybody should prosper together. So that's the third P, prosperity for all, not some. Okay? So you have people before politics, protection, prosperity. And then we also focus on participation, participatory budget and government. Because I believe, and this is key, that the people should decide, the residents should decide how the money is used in their neighborhoods. You should have a say how does public funding is used. You know the needs of your own community. You know what needs to be done. You should have a place at the table where you can actually say, this is what I want done with the public funding. And have transparency with the financial record and show people this is what we're doing with the money that our ward is getting. And you should have a say. So participatory budget and government, where every major decision concerning budgeting or government should be brought to the people, and you should have a say in how that money is used and how you want your local government to run. So our candidacy is about making sure, is ensuring that everyone has a place at the table and that your voices will be heard. Because when I go out there in public, one of the things that people tell me the most is, I don't feel like my voices are being heard. I feel invisible. And the fifth P is pride in our neighborhoods. Notice that I did not say pride in our community, pride in our neighborhoods, because change takes place in our individual neighborhoods. And as our individual neighborhoods become better and nicer, the entire community is going to benefit for that. So it's about giving the people the resources that they need, educating the people about the different resources that are out there, so that together as one, we make our individual neighborhoods safer, we make our individual neighborhoods stronger and looking nicer, so that together our entire community will look nice. So that's what our campaign is about. It's about empowering the people, letting the people know the power resides within you, and letting people know, you know what, we are tired of the status quo. We want things to be different. We want our voices, we want our voices to be heard, and we're about to step up to the plate and do something about it. So before I leave, I think my 10 minutes is almost up. I would like to encourage you to please rise up with me and allow your voices to be heard. Go out there to the streets, become active in this election. This is one of the most critical election years. This is going to determine the future of how our city is going to look. We need all of you to become involved, to become engaged, voting, registering people to vote, knocking on doors. This is a grassroots campaign. We welcome any help that we can get. So if you're willing to make a difference, if you're willing to stand up and let your voice count for something, I invite you to rise up with me. Let's go out to the streets and let's take care of business for the betterment of all. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Wait.
Yes.
You always take time to ask questions from the community,
awesome.
And then you tell them where your ward's located.
Yes.
What's your name again?
So my name is Omar Medina. My legal name is Christian Omar Medina, but nobody knows me by Christian, just bill collectors. So I decided to run by what everybody calls me, Omar. And Omar is a very good name for people to remember. You have Omar Epps, Omar Sharif, Omar Vizquel, all the famous people are Colombia. So it's Omar Medina. So look for that name at the ballot. Ward 14 is located on the west side of Cleveland. So it runs roughly from Erin Avenue, which is close to Seymour, where the young ladies were found after 10 years, not too long ago. And so it was like from Erin to Denison Avenue, and from Scranton going up West 25th and Clark up to about West 80th or so. So it's a very large ward on the west side of Cleveland. It is very diverse. It's 43% Latino. We have 30% Caucasian or European descent, 27% of Afro-American descent, and we have about 2 or 3% of Middle Eastern descent. So it's a very diverse ward.